See, Naz is wearing shorts.
So,
Going. So, you guys ready?
yep.
Are you guys ready for what you're going to see this week? And do you get excited over the triple option, or do you kind of just dread having to deal with it?
Honestly, me personally, I dread it because, it's never a fun time when you got people diving at your ankles all day. But I will take it as a challenge amongst the defensive line to get the job done and stopping the run.
They've been cutting down on cut blocks this year. I mean, and throwing some flags. Do you see on film them doing it any less? Or are they still just as aggressive in doing that as ever?
I really don't see a difference. I really see them, doing, what they do is cutting people down. But we don't make the calls. We just play the game.
How do you get the younger guys to understand what they have to do to guard against that and to not let that get into their heads so much? Because you have to worry about that, but there's also so much more assignment responsibility as well.
Yeah, I mean, you see it on film with other teams. You can't really worry about it. You got to make tackles while people are tackling you. That's just kind of the culture of what you got to do at that defensive line spot, especially in those A gaps, stopping the dive. As far as like the younger guys, as older guys, we just got to set a good example for them. Let them know that you're gonna get cut. You can't. It's 100% gonna happen. But all you can do is hop off the ground and try to get to the ball. And that's going to help us when we get those D tackles and D ends to the ball when they're running those toss plays and triple options.
How do you guys prepare for that, in practice, especially having a bye week and getting that extra time, those type of blocks that you're going to be dealing with on Saturday? Is there different type of techniques that you guys do or different drills or anything like that you do in practice?
We do a little bit more protecting yourself, cutting kind of drills, but as far as preparing for it, our coaches, they just got our scout guys just trying to cut us as best they can, cutting, rolling, grabbing, doing anything they can, because that's exactly what Georgia Tech's going to do. So having seen that for a week or so before the game and then the game week, I think it'll help us prepare for it.
As a defensive player, your natural instinct is to go get the ball.
Mm-hmm.
In this offense, you've got to maintain the integrity of your assignment. How difficult sometimes is it to overcome that urge to just break it and go get it, as opposed to, even though it doesn't look like it's coming to you right now?
Mm-hmm. Well, it's just a matter of being a team player at the time, because in those situations you can be greedy and try to make a play, and then you don't make the play and the play goes for 80 yards or any kind of catastrophic play. So it's just a matter of doing your job and not being so highlight hungry.
Andre Smith and a couple of guys said leading up to the Pitt game that you guys applied some of your principles that you used against Georgia Tech that week because they do that jet sweep a lot. To Henderson.
Jet sweep.
How does it help knowing that you guys have already at least been thinking about the principles and executed them some in a game, going into a game like this?
Well, it's comforting to know that we had kind of had that stuff in our back pocket and it's not really fresh on us. We've done it a couple of times before. We have to prepare for it in the game. So really it's just a matter of getting the job done, because we've seen it before and we know it's coming, and they're not going to change their offense anytime soon. So we just got to be prepared for whatever they give us.
You find yourself becoming a fan of the Pitts, Dukes, any team who
Yes,
happens to go against
Pitts, Dukes, Virginias, whoever else, Notre Dame, that probably won't help us, but we just want to see them lose.
Even in
I
non-conference
definitely was
games.
a cheerleader in the Pitt game. I didn't turn the channel once.
I saw some of your
Screaming
tweeting
at the TV.
during that game.
Yeah, definitely loud tweeting. We needed them to come away with it, but they did a great job, but didn't come out with the win.
Did you watch the Duke Georgia Tech game Saturday?
I didn't watch that game because we're going to see the film, of course. We've already started on that, so, they didn't get their job done either. So hopefully we can do it.
Naz, how's your confidence grown in the younger guys playing alongside you, as they, particularly in the last few weeks, have proven that they have stepped
We got
up?
some ballers. We got some guys that's starting to come into our own. Aaron Crawford, Marlon Brander's red shirt, and everybody else, Jalen and Jeremiah, they're coming into their own. And before I would kind of hesitate coming out of the game if I got nicked up or I was tired. But now, man, I'll run off just as quick because I know they can handle it, and our defense won't suffer because I'm not out there. But yeah, those guys can.
Last two opponents, Miami and Virginia, 7 for 34 on third downs against you guys. Coach said it starts up front. Is there a point you can go back, 3 or 4 games where you can start to see you guys getting off the field on third down a lot more often, and there's sort of maybe a seminal moment or stretch where you realize you guys had turned the tide?
I would say if I had to pick a game, it would be the pick game because, and it wasn't just in pass rush or third down in general, it was just how big of an effect we could have on a game in general. And when we played to that kind of standard and that D-line standard, then we can really can be game changers. So we try to keep that motto going each and every week.
You're talking about those stops in the second half.
Yeah, the second half. No, not the first half. Not the first half, definitely the second. But yeah, if we can have impacts on games like that throughout the rest of the season, then we'll be fine.
Jeremiah has pointed to the JMU game as kind of a low point for you guys. Did you see it that way as an inspiring game to not be that way the rest of the way?
Yeah, it was humbling, you know, especially me watching from up here. You really can see a lot of different stuff that you don't really see while you're on the field. But I mean, that just humbled us and let us know that anybody can play with us if we let them, if we allow them. If we don't play to our standard, then anybody can come in here and beat us.
How much work? Coach said that most of the ones didn't get a lot of work last week. What did you specifically do personally?
I took my normal reps. I didn't take as many. He did work Jeremiah and Jalen a lot in my position, but that's just because we're high rep guys. You know, me and Mikey. Mikey more than me for sure. Takes 40, 50, 60 snaps a game. So that can be tearing down on the body. So they just got us a couple reps off. Got some other guys in there and see what they can do.
No, it's the general perception is that it's good to have a week off before you play Georgia Tech to get boned up on that offense. But history says that you guys have not always taken advantage of that. Is there any rhyme or reason to why the 2 times you've played these guys after an off week, you've lost? The 2 times that you've played them here recently that you haven't, you've beaten them?
I do not have a clue. No, I really don't have an answer for you there. All I know is this year, this week, all we can do is prepare to stop the run and what they do.
How much time did you spend on them last week?
Last week, all week pretty much besides the Tuesday practice. So we used Tuesday for us, and then Wednesday, Thursday, we were pretty much focused on them.
A lot more like mental type stuff.
Well, mental and physical. Like I said, they had guys trying to cut us, all week. So we've been preparing for that.
Okay.
All right, get Des in here real quick.
Cool.
That's good. Thanks, Doug.
No problem.